Hi, Barb.
All right. So I called to order the meeting of the Manhan Rail Trail Committee, May 17th, 2021. Do we want to start with the April 19th minutes, which I sent with the agenda? Everybody had a chance to take a look at them?
Not much to them.
Nope. For us who were here on April 19th, is there a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting?
I move we accept the minutes of the meeting.
A second.
Okay. All in favor? Everybody raise their hands.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Why don't we, I guess we can just go right into the trail maintenance. And I guess why don't we do a first report on the mulching workday, which I think went very well, thanks to a real good turnout and help from George Labrie. Wendy, you missed an exciting day.
Huh.
I did take pictures. I haven't sent them to you though.
Okay, am I? Okay,
There you go.
could you, yeah, I was gonna ask you if you could send them to me, because I
Yeah.
posted a story that I made up, assuming everything went fine,
Okay.
but I didn't really know. Okay, so how many people did you have roughly, just so I can add a little, I mean,
How many,
big crowd, medium
how many do you
crowd?
think?
Couple
Liz,
dozen.
David, Steve?
Maybe 12.
12, maybe, yeah.
Okay,
Some new
Oh,
faces?
only 12? I would say more than 12.
More than 12?
Yeah, I thought so.
Could be.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, maybe there was.
15?
Wendy, I posted some pictures on Facebook. I don't know if you can grab any of those,
oh, okay, yep, I can do that,
but I think I posted most of them. So
okay,
if you can get them off of there, then that's what I took. But
okay,
Count the people.
yep, it went well. We actually ran out of mulch a little bit, even though there was a lady who was doing some mulching over by the public safety complex, and I had taken some too. But even if we had had that mulch, I think we still would have been a little short.
Yeah, we're gonna have to remember to do one more yard or two next time.
So John, do you think 12? So that was 10 yards approximately.
Yeah.
Do you think next time 12?
Yeah, if in doubt, go up, because if you only do one and then you find out you need more,
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 would be good.
Okay. What happened was that I had also gotten mulch that same morning. They dropped some in my driveway, and then they went down to the bike path. So I gave up some of my mulch. They went and grabbed some from my driveway to go down to Coleman Road, and also,
Oh, wow.
yeah, which actually worked perfectly. I couldn't do all of my beds, but I did all that I wanted to do.
That's pretty good, Barb. That's a good contribution.
Yep. So that worked out fine. I still had like 25 wheelbarrow fulls of mulch at my house, so that was fine. But okay. All right. Trail maintenance. John, do you have anything?
Yeah, I was looking for that supposed mile marker that's missing. It's the 1 mile marker. Do you know where exactly it was supposed to be? I know it's close to Fort Hill Road.
I think it's somewhere about the 1 mile point.
Yeah, well, that helps, you know.
Peter would be the one that would know that. He would. You might want to reach out to him about it.
Yeah, okay, but because I walked from Fort Hill Road down to Old Pascomic area and I saw nothing. According to this guy I know, he said the whole thing's missing. So.
Oh, you don't think anybody just took the whole thing, do you?
Well, I don't know. It's just, all I know is missing. You know?
So is that one of the ones that the sign was attached to the fence, or a separate post that was in the ground?
I can't tell you. You know, I'll have to. Maybe the one who informed me will know about. I'll ask him again. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Barb's right. Peter would know. And I was sorry to be such an ass before, but
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping Peter would be here tonight. Because whenever he's here, I know he's feeling okay.
Yeah, yeah,
He did help. He was there on the mulching day.
yeah, right, that's right.
Yep. Okay, anything else, John?
No, I don't think so. Everything looks good down there.
Okay. I've got a couple updates. So I got together with the DPW director, Greg Nuttleman, last Thursday, and we went down to Millside Park and we marked out a stretch of, where the roots are really bad. We just did a block. And then we walked down to the Ferry Street Fork, and we walked the side that heads down towards the Oxbow, and it didn't seem that bad. We could see cracks, but they were flat, and we both agreed that they weren't like really bumped like the other, they weren't that bad. I mean, we could see the cracks, but they were like flat.
Yeah,
So-
that's fine. I agree with that. It'll probably be a problem eventually because water will get in there,
Yeah.
but right now it's fine then.
Right. There's going to be work done down there anyway. So we decided that we couldn't really see anything that was that bad. Now, saying that, Rich this morning said, "Oh, did you know there's some bad cracks on the fork going towards Northampton?" And I was like, well, maybe that's what they were talking about. So I went down there this morning, and it's, where that little trail comes up from Lovefield Street, where right, like not far from there was like a stretch that it's pretty bad, pretty bumpy. So I marked off those this morning, and I wrote to Greg and I asked if he could have, if he could also include that little section, because those were much worse than anything I saw on the other side. So they were quite noticeable.
The ones that were on the side heading towards the Oxbow are now marked with green paint. Was that something you did?
No, the ones that were marked with green paint, I did this morning, and those are the ones going towards Route 5, or the bridge.
Okay.
So the other
Yeah.
possibility, and I haven't been on the trail for a while, but as I recall, there's one or two places somewhere along the mills where it's just like one major bump, the kind that rattles your teeth, but that's all it is. I couldn't tell you where it is, but I think there's a couple of them like that.
Yep. So there is one spot that we did walk up to, and the trail had been cut, and I don't know if they put something underneath it, and that it does. He agreed. He said, I don't know. Something had maybe dropped. So I think what they're going to do with that is just cut it out and just put it back.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But it's right before Millside Park, and it's a cut. And so at some point the trail was cut, and it does. It's kind of a big dip.
All right. Well, I'm glad my memory was correct for once. I couldn't tell you where exactly, but I knew something was there.
So this morning, I sent him that Lovefield Street, the one where I marked with the green, the cracks. I sent that to him this morning. He said he'd already met 2 companies out there to take a look at it. And he'd gotten a price back from one of them about $3,600 to do the Millside Park section. So the DPW would do like they did before. They would pull it up. They'd get rid of the pavement, and then the paving company would come in and pave it. So he said that whichever one turns out lower and they end up going with, he'll have them go out and look at that little section I marked off this morning. So, the last time we did it, when we did it by the pond, it was like $6,000.
Yeah. And so are we on the hook for all of it, or does the DPW pay any of that?
No, their contribution is the pulling of the pavement. So, yeah, we'll have to pay that.
So will there be a delay between the time they pull it and the time?
He said that what they would do is they would find out when the pavers would be coming, and then they would plan to do the pulling up of the pavement like like kind of like right before.
Oh, that's good.
But Millside Park, that isn't bad because if people really didn't want to, ride over the dirt, they could just go into the parking lot and go around it. So that's kind of an easy one.
Right.
The
Right.
other spot, they wouldn't be able to, but he said that they would coordinate, and so they would do it like one day pull it up, next day pave it. So it wouldn't be too bad.
And did you have a chance to look at the sinkhole dips, what I call the sinkhole dips, that are kind of invisible until you hit them and get thrown?
I don't know where they are. Where are they?
There's several behind the mills. It was definitely, I think, as a result of the construction along the mills. Either.
So, I think there may be, as I recall, Barb, there may be more. The one you're talking about, that's the first one you hit. But like Wendy's saying, there could very well be a couple more that are different in formation, and they're there for a different reason, but they do kind of jar you.
Okay.
When you drive it. If you hit
I didn't know about those. If they are right there, I can tell Greg about them, but I need to kind of know where to tell him. I don't want him out there wandering all over the place.
So I did email you about it, but maybe it got lost in the shuffle, or but I can try to. So how do I indicate them if I go out there?
Well, if you go out there and you want to.
Can I chalk them or something?
Yeah, just do something, take a picture of them, just somehow, so he would know where they were.
Where they are, okay.
Right, you can situate it like if it was beside, the mills, like INSA or something, take a picture in relation.
Yep. Okay, I will do that.
I mean, if they're just little like dips, I don't know. I don't know how they would do that, because I don't think they can just come and just put, fill a pothole kind of thing, because I don't know if it would stay.
They'd probably have to do a minimum cut, whatever that is, 6 inches, 12 inches, whatever.
Yeah.
They can
I wonder
do.
if there's some kind of sealer, if you could just put a few layers of sealer or something. At least they would be visible and people would know. The problem now is that you really can't see them as you're riding along, because it's just like an indentation.
Yeah.
Could we mark them with paint? Just make a circle around them with yellow paint or something, so at least people would notice there was a hole coming up,
Right.
so they could avoid.
We could. I'd rather fix them, but
Me too.
In the meantime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have paint, but I can chalk them at least.
Okay.
If the guys are down there working and they can just take a walk, it would be, I think they're farther towards Union Street. I mean, they're on the Union Street end of the Mills section.
Right.
Do you agree, Steve, that most of them are there?
Yes. And I think they are going to be small. So then it's going to be a choice of, let's say it is a cutout, what will that cost? And then maybe the interim solution is to paint them and wait until we need to do pavement repair there anyways and do it all at once.
Yeah. Oh, I would say if they're going to be there working along the trees there on Millside Park, that they could it's close enough, they could just do those at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what size truck they have. And, if the paver company comes in, they're probably going to have a big truck. If you could do that as soon as possible, because like I said, by the time I wrote to him this morning, he'd already met out there with 2 companies.
Okay.
So,
I'll try to get out there soon.
okay. Okay, so that is that. To this afternoon, Wendy, was it you that replied to that person on Facebook?
No, that was me.
That was you, okay.
Yeah.
So this person sent a picture of water collecting at the South Street crossing. Now, I have to say that I have not known that to be a water collection problem place in the past.
What do you mean the crossing?
Like right where it crosses heading towards Coleman Road.
Oh, got it.
Crosses South Street?
You're actually talking about the road itself.
The road.
There's a puddle in the road. Is that what's
Yep.
happening?
Yep.
It does look very, very low there, and there's like a river or a stream or something right there. So
Right. So the person, they did email that to my work email, and I went on and I've already forwarded it on to Greg because it just doesn't seem like that's been a problem spot before. So I'm wondering if there's a storm drain around there, or I know on the other side, there had been some beaver issues, not right there, but I thought that that they need to go out and take a look at that, because I don't recall that being a problem in the past. Like, nobody's ever complained about it before.
Yeah, but that was a lot of water.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if something's plugged, or maybe they need to, I'm not sure. So anyway, I sent the picture to Greg, like right after he emailed it to me, and I'm going to see if they can go out.
When did it occur? What rainstorm? Was it a violent rainstorm, or what?
Well, this afternoon, I guess there was a little downpour here late in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Our neighborhood never gets it. Jeez.
Yeah. It happened right over a wedding I was doing, right when I was doing the wedding.
Do you know, yesterday I drove from the house into the hailstorm, and when I got back, talked about it to Charlene, it hadn't hailed at the house.
Yeah.
So I'm telling her about the hail, and she's going, "What hail?" And I was like,
We had hail.
a mile away.
Yeah. But Liz, he didn't say when it was.
No.
No. Okay. But we have had some rain lately, but I don't. Anyway, I've already sent it on to Greg, and I asked him to take a look at it.
Good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Speaking of water collecting, it collects right at the entryway to Millside Park. I don't know if they were going to landscape that area and kind of correct that.
Yep. I mentioned that to Jeff a long time ago, and I see that it's still there, but fortunately it's not intruding on the path anymore. I think they're going to be dealing with that, because it was really bad right over the path, and now it's kind of off to the side,
Right.
more closer to the road. So I don't know. They're still working down there, so hopefully they'll get it taken care of. That's about all that I know of that's going on out there trail-wise. John, do you want to give your report on the lights?
Sure. I did speak with the head of facilities today, it's a new person, Brian Wing. Jeff Tennant is still there, but he's more like a projects guy. So I didn't really realize that they're right in the midst of the graduation stuff, which is this Saturday. So he was nice enough to call me back today, because I just asked if we could speak so I could give you guys an update. And he is going to actually meet with me and his boss to do a walkthrough of the stretch.
Great.
And then we're going to talk about getting their lighting, the guy who does their specking of all their lighting, and try to maybe do something similar to the lights maybe that are in the parking lot that are adjacent to the trail.
Excellent. That'd be great.
But I did, I didn't want to take a lot of his time, so I'll get into more of the details that we spoke about in the past, about making sure we're cognizant of the neighborhoods, getting the lights that shine up and down the path, directional, and these kinds of things. So it was great. They're definitely looking at making it happen, and so once I talk to them, I'll talk to the other powers that be, whether it be with BPW, things like that, to see about the logistics of getting the trench done, this kind of stuff. But I'm going to see what I can get Williston to do first.
That is tremendous news, John. That's really great news. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And, combined with that lady, I forget her name, that told us about the pocket park, they're adding the lights all the way out to to Ferry Street, so that we're going to be lit all the way from Ferry Street all the way down to the ice. Right.
Yeah, and one other thing I just wanted to throw out in there while I was talking was that I took some time the other day and I went down to check out the status of Westfield Trail, the whole downtown section, and all the bridges are in.
Wow.
It's almost getting ready to be graded.
Wow.
They're getting ready to pour the concrete in the bridge, the brand new bridge that's over, the Main Street by Stop and Shop. And then they're refurbishing the old train bridge that goes over Elm Street. And then most of the path is graded between the bridges. And what I really love is that they put street lights sort of like the ones behind our mills the whole way.
Oh, good.
Because it's a downtown trail over the city. They wanted to make sure that it was going to be safe and lit. So the whole stretch is lit all the way up to the river, all the way back to Stop and Shop.
Good.
I took a few photos, but they're not that great. And I don't think I can screen share anyway.
Did you get an idea of when all that is going to get opened up?
No, but if I had to guess, I would say it'll definitely be this summer. I would probably say, because they're really near the end, because once they pour the concrete on the bridges, they'll just pave it and that'll be it. And after that, it'll be all the extra stuff, the benches and things.
How long a stretch is that all together when that whole thing opens up?
It's not very long. It's only like a mile.
Yeah.
Because they
it's an
already,
important mile.
from Stop and Shop to the bridge, it's just right downtown, but it's 6 bridges.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Some of them are really small.
Yeah. I'm glad
but still.
And they did the river, the one that goes over the river, they did in a separate project last year. So that's going to bring it to the other side of the river. And then they'll have to contend with, the rail with trail or however they're going to pull it off to Southampton. But that's going to be the biggest gap that's left because all of the Connecticut sections are under construction at this point, I think. And then Southampton's is moving forward now.
Yep.
So.
Does anybody have an update on Southampton? No. Okay.
I saw an article that was posted in Facebook that said that it is moving forward.
Right. Yep.
And it is in the DOT project list. So it looks like they're
to get a lot more funding, though, right?
Yeah, right. They're trying to get the funds to do the purchase of the railroad.
And that will drive
money.
That will drive the final piece because they still don't know how they're getting from Southampton to Westfield. But if that's the only piece left, they'll have to do it. They'll do it some way.
Yeah. That piece that's left in Westfield, it doesn't really have an active railway for the whole thing, but some of it does. And a lot of towns like Plainfield down in Connecticut they just put a trail alongside with fencing.
Sure. Well, they have that in North
right away.
They have that in Northampton for a short distance.
Yeah, but I think that the powers that be are going to have to intervene once that's the only gap, for sure.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah.
And then who went to the meeting for the whole trail network?
I did. Stop laughing.
And we thank you, Liz, for that. Believe me, I appreciate it. I appreciate it more than anyone else here.
Good. You appreciate the challenges. So I sent the minutes out of that meeting, and then Barb also sent them out. Basically, only 4 of us showed up. Basically, we got together and agreed that not much had happened. They're working on the website. I sent you a link to the website. They're working on getting a logo, one logo that every section of the trail can use. They're farming that out to art students at the colleges down there. They're working on, oh, what else? Anyway, they're working on a map. They want a map that, a digital map of the entire corridor. So they're trying to get up-to-date maps submitted by every trail section. Nobody seems to be interested in making a printed map available, but at least there'll be like a Google Maps version, and people will have to just print out sections of that to carry with them if they want to carry a paper map. Wendy, have you sent them our latest, most updated map information?
So I've been back and forth between Christie and Northampton's map guy.
Okay,
And
good.
so finally, I just said, all right, I'm backing out. I put the two of them together
Good.
because
Wise move.
he was asking me questions about format, which I was, it was like I didn't need to be in the middle, so I backed myself out of that. But they're talking, and I think it's there was some discussion about it back and forth.
Okay.
But,
As long as they're talking to each other.
Right.
And the other thing with the website, and it's really still rudimentary, but they want us to be sure, and if we have events, like with Bike Week happens in September, to be sure and post our events on that new website. And likewise, that we should post a link to that website on our Facebook page and our website. Even though there's not much content on it yet, we ought to have a link just to show people that we are part of that longer corridor.
Right.
So
Makes sense.
is it ready to be, is it worthy of posting right now, or should I wait?
Well, take a look at it. You got the link, right? You take a look at it and see if you think that there's enough content there to be worth posting.
Okay.
See what you think. It's still under construction, obviously.
Right.
But at least it links all the different sections. I mean, it lists all the different sections from one end to the other.
Okay.
On going back to the paper map, that may be if there's a demand for it. If people, want it, or if businesses want it to advertise or something, then maybe, we can revisit that at a later date.
Right. I mean, we've got a paper map of our section, but I know, that people seem to think that nobody is interested in carrying a paper map anymore, and I'm here to disagree with that. So I like to have a map, a real map.
Well, the market is shrinking, but still there.
Yeah.
All I know is that Chris, when he goes out for his ride, I have him check the Coleman Road box, and I have a box here filled with maps, and he's constantly refilling that. So people are using them. They're going. So
Good.
Yeah, I mean, when those maps are gone, then they're gone. But
right, and I was going to ask you that. What happens then? Because if people are using them,
well, they're just going to have to use the ones on the kiosk, I guess, because, and I don't know whether we have a QR code thing on there or whatever the name of that code thing is, so people can find it on their phone or something.
So, Barbara, are you saying we're out of the map, the paper map business, or?
No, I still have some, and I do need to reach out to Paul Done because I suspect he still has some too.
Oh, okay.
I'm on my last box, and I don't know what's left in Northampton. I have no idea.
Right.
No idea. But they're outdated. There's some businesses that aren't there anymore, and so a couple of years they can really become outdated. So,
well, is Northampton still going to want to do it with us now that they changed their name, or?
I haven't heard anything about a reprint being proposed.
Wendy, when you talked to the Northampton people, was there any mention of reprinting the map anytime soon?
we didn't talk about it. I didn't ask that question. I was talking primarily to the GIS, the guy that just does maps. So he works for Wayne, but other than that, I don't know what he has in terms of information.
I mean, it's a huge project, and just getting all the businesses, and it's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not looking forward to doing something like that again, truthfully.
Well, how long, now you say you've got some boxes left. Realistically, how long of a supply do we have?
We can probably make it through this year, and that's probably about it. Yeah.
So could we potentially print something less elaborate, more inexpensively? That's just Easthampton at some point. I mean, if Northampton chooses not to go in on it with us, I mean, we could ask.
That's a good idea. Go back to, remember, we used to have a map just of Easthampton.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I'm not making photocopies at work anymore. No, I can't.
No.
I can't do that.
No, but we could have that done.
Barb, you know, what's a few thousand photocopies? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk to Northampton. I can ask George from Northampton Trail and Greenway and see if they still have much of a supply left.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he would be a good one to ask on that. But
I'll ask him that, and I'll also say we're getting low, and we're wondering if they have thought about doing a reprint, and if it would include us when they do.
yeah, I mean, maybe it's just something real basic, just a map.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't have to have all the ads and stuff, but I think it's important to have something for people to pick up and carry with them.
Yeah.
And the two towns would be preferable, but if we have to go it alone, then I think Wendy's idea is a good one as well.
Right. Especially as we're moving towards being part of the greater corridor. There ought to be something out there so people can see that it isn't just a short trail segment. It's
Right.
goes across 2 states.
Yeah. Of course, they wouldn't get that from just a map of Easthampton.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, potentially we could ask a sponsor, if there's somebody in town, we could ask if they want to be the
Right.
sponsor of the map printings for this year, you know, and then next year ask somebody else. And
Yeah.
I guess it would depend on how many and how how much it costs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure, obviously, but now, just to not to lose it, we want to put the Manhan Rail Trail, but also the longer name there as well on our map now, from now on, every time,
Yeah. And another thing is we'd need to have somebody that would do the graphics. My brother-in-law did it last time, but I mean, I don't know if the map is up to date or if we would need to change it at all. I mean, we would need somebody that would be able to put this together for us.
Well, does he do it professionally? Like, we could pay him, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we've done that before. I mean, I kind of felt like, the second time it was like, I felt kind of bad asking him, but.
yeah. It's not something he does or wants to do.
Well,
It's like,
he's a professor, but
yeah.
he is going to be on sabbatical next semester, so maybe he'll be looking for something to do.
Yeah.
He's a graphic arts professor,
Okay.
and he does cartoons and so.
Hey, maybe we can get him to do the logo for the whole trail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He has a whole little blog about logos. He doesn't.
Oh, perfect.
Wow.
He doesn't really like ours.
Okay.
Because I asked, what do you think of ours? And he was like, I think it's great, but he was.
May I tell the Unified Trail Committee about him and put them in touch with you to put in touch with them? Because they tried. No?
Well, he critiques blogs or logos, but I'm not sure if he's really a logo creator.
Okay. They're trying to farm it out to a student at one of the art colleges.
Yeah.
But so far they haven't had any luck.
I mean, he does keep in touch with students. And,
Okay. Maybe he knows somebody who would do it.
I mean,
how about Beverly? I mean, is she
she's
retired?
now.
But she might know somebody who might want to do it, or because that's how we got our logo, was her students, right?
Well, I suppose if they really are running
Yeah,
into a
but
brick
what's his
wall,
face doesn't like him.
if they can't find anybody, if they want to send a little information to me and I can forward it to him,
Okay,
it couldn't hurt.
can't hurt. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that seems like it would be a good project for his students, but like I say, he's on sabbatical this semester,
Yeah.
this coming semester. But Scott, do you have any updates on any of the connections, like from the school and all that kind of stuff? I think the school building committee has been talking about it a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah. So, and I meant to email you to put it on the agenda. So I'm sorry I didn't do that.
That's okay.
But yeah, so the school, I actually went to the school building committee meeting, the last one, because I've been talking, as I have for on and off for a long time, to Jeff Bagg about different ways to get the path connected to the school, and I do think we've got some real momentum now. One thing that he was looking at with the school building committee is making sure that we could put a path in the place where we think that the connection could pop out of the woods. So basically, to have that included in the school building budget, so that part would already be built. So basically, it's just I think initially it would be sidewalk width, but it would be paved and it would go from the new school site back toward the woods where the Conway School, when they had mapped out where they thought that connection could go, like where they think that would connect. And then that was approved. And so that was exciting just to know that part would happen. We also have been talking to the people at the state, the Safe Routes to Schools folks, who I actually just learned, I thought they worked for DOT. They actually like subcontract that program out from DOT. So they work for like a consulting company, but essentially it's a state program. And they administer the state program. And we met with them online. I'm actually meeting with someone from them, from Safe Routes to Schools, along with someone from the school committee and principal at Whitebrook. And I'm teaching at Whitebrook this year, which is also a new thing that happened, which is made my interest in connecting that school site even more personal. So
That's
so
great.
Wednesday, and that should be exciting as far as when Safe Routes to Schools puts out funding, of the different criteria they look at. One of the big ones is how much is happening with bikes in schools currently, and so we're going to talk about different things that we can do within the school, within the elementary schools and the middle school, especially to encourage biking. So I'm glad to get that ball rolling too, so that hopefully when they release their next grant cycle, which could be in the fall, then we'd be in better shape for that. So, it's something that's been being talked about for a long time, but hopefully we're seeing more movement with it, to connect to the main trail. And then I think there's also this thought of how the rail trail can really bring equity to people in the city, that if we can get the rail trail to the school, then we can connect different neighborhoods to the trail to get kids from all over the city to be able to bike to the school safely. So
Good.
that's the update.
Great.
Barb,
Anything else?
do you know when the Union Street project is going to start? Is that next year?
2023, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that get delayed because of the pandemic and everything?
I can't remember. It just doesn't seem like 2022 was the year I had heard about, but I mean, I have seen them out doing some surveying lately. But I think it's still a couple of years off. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
One
It'll
thing
be
I just wanted
wonderful
to
when
add
it happens, though.
to the school discussion in the school building committee, when Jeff Bagg was presenting, this idea, he cited like different times the city has talked about this. And one thing that was highlighted is the extension priorities that we outlined. And I didn't realize how long ago that was, but it was addressed to Mayor Katcher. So it was at least, I think it was 4 years ago at this point. So anyway, but it was cool to see it up there and be like, right, we've been talking about this for a long time. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there that, things like that do have a life for years, and it is, it's part of the narrative that he's talking about, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, anything we do usually takes a year or two of discussion before we finally do it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing happens quickly.
Yeah.
Sure doesn't. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I have a new thing. So if this is about what we're talking about.
I just wanted to say I found the article that I found about Southampton.
Oh, that's.
They did get a $100,000 grant to put directly toward the purchase of the rail bed, which is going to cost about $400,000. So they're trying to figure out how they're going to come up with the funds for the rest of the purchase. And I guess there's some sort of state mandate that is changing that's going to allow people to use preservation funds
The CPA.
for the purchase of rail like this. And so they're waiting to see if that happens, because they have preservation funds. So it's looking pretty good, like they can do this purchase soon, because the state DOT has already $6 million set aside for their trail.
Great. Wow.
Is it still planned to not be paved?
No, it's going to be paved all the way to Sheldon's.
Really? I swear, sometimes I think it's better to not have it be paved. Well,
Yeah.
The roots.
yeah, the roots. Oh,
Yeah, there was talk about doing I know. Because they had a lot of horses back a long time ago that they wanted to do both.
Yeah.
I think once DOT steps in, they're like, nah, we're just paving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like, they just want it to be like a road, basically, and safe for everyone.
Yeah, because you're right, Barb. I mean, the roots, you would just have to cut the roots and put a little gravel in, and
Yep.
you're back to normal.
yeah. I mean, not to
Perhaps
say
they're not making them thick enough.
Yeah, like why are roots such a big deal on bike paths, but like you don't see that on roads as much, right? Like what's the difference? Like why?
Oh, they're thicker. I guarantee if they made these bike paths in Germany, there would be no roots going up there.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, make it a foot thick and do it one time and never do it again.
Right. It's not just both the pavement but also the sub flooring or whatever you call it. Yeah.
The base.
Because that section there at Williston, we put root barrier in when we built the trail. And
Right.
it didn't matter. The roots just went under it and around it and up back again.
Yeah. We still have boxes and boxes of root barrier in the shed. I had taken pictures of it. I was going to post it on something, but never got around to it.
In retrospect, it really wasn't designed to do what we thought it would do. I mean, you think about it, roots go under the ground all the time, so I don't know what the hell we were thinking, but
Yeah, we tried.
yeah, we tried.
Yeah,
That root barrier, so we gave it a shot. So
yeah. Well, you can still see it down by South Street.
Yeah.
Where we dug it out and put it in. What a lot of work that was.
yeah, that was a morning. That was about 4 hours with about 20 people, right?
Yeah, that was a
And
lot.
machinery.
Oy. Yep. So what did you have, Wendy?
So I got an email from somebody who knew one of the members of the crew that came out to evaluate us for the National Recreation Trails. That's just a long way of introducing this person, how she found my name. And they were quite intrigued by our passport
Oh, yeah.
trains. The one with the big crack in it, by the way. So anyway, I responded to her, and they're going to do it somewhere else. They want to do something like that. But it did remind me that I wanted to replace that plexiglass. Of course, last year was not the year to do anything with plexiglass because there was a shortage, and there might still be a shortage. But it really does need to be replaced. So if I go to the red frame, what's the new name of that place? Is that the red?
You know, if you're just looking for plexiglass, Wendy, you might want to reach out to Phillips Manufacturing, like on Route 10, because I had seen they actually, if you go to their website, they do say that they do plexiglass barriers. So, I mean, if you're just looking for, are you just looking for pieces of plexiglass, or
just replace the one that's cracked?
Yeah,
there's a big crack. I don't know if vandals got to it, or I don't know what happened, but
yeah,
I think last time we had the frame company did it, but
at the town hall.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're right. It has been repaired before.
It was
It has.
replaced once.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well,
Yeah.
you can ask him, that's for sure.
It was like
But
10 years ago, though.
So,
But if you think Phillips is going to be cheaper, or maybe they would donate it or something.
I don't know. I just know that if you go on their website, they do say that they do plexiglass barriers. I mean, so
Okay.
I don't know. I've never, we bought some for 50 Payson, and I ended up using a vendor that we used for the ones we had at the polls. I don't know if I gave Lindsay their name, but I don't know if she never heard from them or something. I don't know.
Okay, I'll try them first, and then I can ask Jean-Pierre.
Yeah. So Wendy, I have to ask you this. When that was first put in, could you actually see the railroad, the Tandem Bagel building?
Yes, the building is in the back.
There?
Well, I mean, because what do you mean, the existing building?
Yeah.
Or the old building, how it used to look?
Like when you're looking through it, could you ever see the roof line of the Tandem Bagel building or not?
Yes.
Okay, because you can't see it at all now.
What do you?
Well, because we were there, I think it was on mulching day, and some new person, they were commenting on it, and I looked, and those trees, they've gotten so tall that you can't, from where that passport is, looking down the trail, you can't see the Tandem building at all anymore.
Huh.
Interesting.
So I'm like, I don't know, maybe it should be moved, but then it would be off.
It has to be lined up with real thing.
You would still have the rail line and the train. So,
Right.
I mean, that's really what it's lined up with, both the building and the trails.
Yeah, I was like, geez, I don't know if when we first put that in, whether you could line it, the roof on the picture.
You could, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember. That's a good point. And Barb, I think I kind of noticed that a while ago, because you're right. I remember distinctly that you could before, and now.
So it kind of has lost some of its, what it really is, it's not as effective as it was before.
Well, yeah, but very few people actually figure that out on their own,
They do.
anyways. And I think it's just as cool, anyways, where it is as it is. So.
Oh, it's also showing you that the building is there behind the trees, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
I'll
couldn't
see it.
remember.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll get estimates or find out what the scoop is, but
Okay. Good.
okay.
And Wendy, who did you say was going to get another one like that? Or
It's I don't know what her name was. I'd have to go back and look at the email, but she was with some other trail organization, and they wanted to do something similar.
Oh, okay.
So she was looking for the company name. Museum Craft is the name of the company. So I gave her all the contact information. I don't know if they're still in business even. I mean, that was
Right.
Yeah, that was a long.
That's a long time
15
ago.
years ago, 10, 15 years. It's been a while. So
That thing is still there. I mean,
Yep. Yep.
yep. The tractor seat is long gone, but
Yeah.
now we have the tractor seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That lasted about 6 months.
Yeah.
That was gone.
that lasted as long as the skateboard does, hanging on the mural there.
Yeah.
We took the guy, the skateboard, that was gone, but the actual person is in our garage, which, we have thoughts of making a wooden skateboard and putting it back up. But, I think the mural is, I mean, it is holding up really well.
It looks spectacular.
Amazing.
It's
Miraculous.
incredible.
Yep. I think Rich adding that piece of metal along the top really helped.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There was some graffiti way down at the dollar store end. We noticed it when we were cutting the grasses. So we reached out to Paul Lococo, Paul who helped with the painting, and he came down and he cleaned it up and repainted it, and he wouldn't even know it.
Wow.
Who did this? Paul, what's his name?
Paul Lococo.
Lococo. He got an award. We
He
gave
did.
him one of our appreciation awards a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, he's still willing to go down and touch that thing up, if something happens. And
Well, you'll have a chance to correct my spelling of his last name, Barb, when you get to there.
Lococco, or is it?
I should know, but I'll double check.
Oh,
Speaking of murals.
all right. It's a good thing I said
Does anybody
something.
know who did this when you come into North Easthampton?
Oh, on the I don't know who did that.
No,
What is that?
there
Spectacular. It's Jerry
It's on the
Garcia.
Liberty.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you would think that the cannabis place just paid someone to do it.
Yeah, it's the Liberty Cannabis Store, the one that nobody has ever at.
Oh,
Oh,
Right,
it's a
right.
cannabis. I forgot it was a cannabis place. Well,
Yeah,
anyway, that mural.
I think it's only
spectacular.
medical, that's
John,
why.
you forgot that the Jerry Garcia
regular.
mural was on a cannabis place?
no, well,
I just was driving through there today, and I
Oh, I
pulled
can
in
tell
to
you
take
what
a
it
picture.
is.
It's pretty
Um,
impressive.
so Liberty has
It's
this
huge.
particular kind of cannabis that was developed, or it's a Jerry Garcia strain or whatever. And they had a big, it was in April sometime, they had a big to-do there, and they introduced this Jerry Garcia, strain of, I don't know, pot. And that is supposed to be their big seller there. So that's why he's on the side of the building.
But they're medical only, right?
No, I think they're regular. I don't
Oh,
think
really?
there's any. I don't think there's any that are just medical right now. They're all recreational.
Oh, I'll check them out. All right.
Yeah. But,
Actually, on that note, do you guys remember like 2 years ago, there were people in the Womeco?
yep.
Melco.
Like,
Yep.
they were going to put something in there. Remember they came to us and
Yeah,
talked about
right.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we ever hear
Something's-
anything about that?
Something's still going on with that, but I think those people are now the ones that are going to be at the old Cernak place across from Tasty Top.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
really?
turning into one too?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, okay, because I knew that they were talking about they came to us because they were talking about doing stuff with the trail there, and so
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I mean, just to have
I think there is another one. I can't remember the name. That there's still something in the works for the Womelco Way location.
I think that's supposed to be a growing location. I think what I read last was that's going to be a growing area.
Yeah, I can't keep track of them all. It seems like there's more
Wow.
than
Amazing.
we
Incredible.
should have, but whatever.
Well, we'll find out.
The other
They
thing
all
I
stay open, then apparently
Yeah, right.
it's not
Yeah,
more.
sooner or later, it's just like when they build too many cinemas. Sooner or later, it's going to come to a crash, and some of them will go out of
That's
business. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to also on my list to do maybe this week is to clean the Manhan Rail Trail sign at Coleman Road, which is filthy, dirty. And
Okay.
so I don't know if the other ones need it, if somebody else I don't know, wants to check them out or give them a scrub.
I stopped down there. It was right after our mulching day. I stopped down there just to check out how the flowers and everything looked. And I couldn't believe how many cars were there. There were a lot.
Yes, it's very popular. It's a nice stretch because it's quiet. You can hear
Yeah.
the birds.
Yeah, when I first got there, there were like 2 cars, and I was there like not more than like 5 minutes, and I came out, and there must have been like 14 cars there.
Where is this now? Where?
Coleman Road.
Coleman Road. The
Okay.
southern entrance to the trail is
Yeah, I was like,
very popular. I think the city or the town of Southampton actually laid down some gravel on the side there because so many people were parking. It was turning to mud.
Yeah, it actually looked pretty good.
It looked nice.
Yeah, and people can be pretty far off the road too.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
And
did.
they
They
added some
gravelled it and made it
signage.
wide.
Yep, there's
Great.
signage, and I think there could be maybe more signage to slow down. I know the cops sometimes sit there. They hide in the side streets there.
Then Wendy, there will be no sign. That's their
It's
revenue.
on the Southampton. It's on the Southampton side.
Yeah.
It's just to slow drivers down because it's at the bottom. You know, people come flying down Coleman Road from both sides, and you've got people crossing there and getting out of their cars with baby strollers and dogs. And
Well, wait until the path continues on the other side. It's going to be even worse.
Yeah.
No, because when it continues, more people will park at Sheldon's
yeah, that's true.
because
The
it's a real
Southampton
parking
people-
lot.
But they'll still have to cross the road. I mean,
Well, yeah, we'll have to put Southampton should think about putting a crosswalk, a real one with lights. It should be part of their trail. When it goes in, they should, it should be spec'd as part of the
yeah,
construction initial.
I don't think you can do a solar light down there. I don't think there'd be enough solar.
Too dark. It's too shady.
Yeah, but I
Well.
mean, there's power on the street.
That's their problem. That's about all I have. Anybody else? Okay, what about next month? What day do we want? '21st or '28th?
21st?
21st.
Are you talking June, right?
Yeah.
The solstice.
Okay.
Yeah, either one.
21st.
Okay.
So Barb, just one last question about, so who the DPW is getting the estimates, they're going to give us their recommendation on who we should hire. Is that did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should just, whatever one is cheapest. I'm going to think it's probably going to be at least another $1,000 more. I don't know if I should just send out an email when we get the final quotes and we can just decide, or if we want to hold off until the June meeting, or whether we just want to get it done as soon as we can.
Are we allowed to make decisions via email? What's the rule on that?
No, probably not. I mean, we can kind of make a pre-decision ahead of time if we want to say like how much money we kind of are, whatever one is okay as long as it's under a certain amount or something like that. What do you think?
Yep.
I mean, the cheapest isn't always the best, so you just want to be careful that you get.
Well, he only reached out to, probably like True Hearts and Duffy. I mean,
Okay.
companies that work that they do work with all the time. They're not going to pick some fly-by-night, paper.
Okay. Well, then I'm fine with going with the most reasonable and the one that can do it soonest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, things are going to get really busy on the trail. So, I mean, the sooner they can do it, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
So why don't we pick like a arbitrary number, like Barb, if it's under $10,000 or whatever.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, I think I'm going to go with whatever one Greg recommends.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So long as it's sooner rather than later.
Right. That's why, I mean, personally, I'd rather just, see what he comes back with, and whichever one is the one he recommends, we just tell them to go and do it as soon as they can.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how busy the paving companies are, so it might not happen right away anyway.
Right.
But, I mean, chances are it probably won't, but.
So will they hire them and we reimburse the city, or how is this going to work?
No, I think that I'd probably tell Greg just to have that company just send the bill to me.
Okay,
We'll just pay it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, the town, no, we will pay it directly.
okay.
Oh, there was one, I'm glad I almost forgot about this. So the Reasonable Lawn Care, which was the company that did the mowing of the banks on either side of the Lovefield Street Bridge, and also weed whacked along the back of the mill wall. Brian Ross, who's one of the police officers, that's his business, and we've used him for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. Anyway, he reached out to me and he said that they just can't do it anymore. So, yeah, so I said, well, who do you think we should try? Well, George LeBrie, they can't do it. He suggested Brian Colby, because Brian keeps his equipment like right across the street from the Lovefield Street Bridge. So I reached out to him and he also turned it down. There was this
Sounds
company.
like this is a job for the DPW, Barb.
No. So there's another company that I've seen on Facebook a lot, Exquisite Lawn Care. So I reached out to that guy and he said he would, what I want them to do is talk to Brian and have him say what he's done, because the Lovefield Street Bridge is complicated because it's on a hill and there's a lot of little bushes. So I have not heard back from that guy yet. So there's another young guy who works in the DPW, Alex Halford. I don't know. Anyway, I guess he has a little business on the side. Do you know him?
I do.
Okay.
But I think he's also pretty well booked, but you can ask him.
Yep. So I've got his phone number. I got his phone number this past weekend and I thought we might as well, but I don't know if anybody else has any ideas of people we can try, because Brian did say that he's willing to do it, 1 or 2 times until we can find somebody. But
Can I ask you, Barb, is this because they're so busy? Is it because we're paying a lower rate because we're a charity and it's more expensive for them to do this? Or
actually, we were paying. I thought we were paying quite a bit to have that done. I mean, it was. We almost paid Brian more to just do that bank than we paid George to mow the whole trail.
Wow.
I mean, the day that George LeBrie and Tim LeBrie don't want to mow the trail is going to be a problem for us because they do it very reasonably. I think the problem is these guys are so busy. They're just so busy. So, but I didn't know if anybody else had any ideas of people I could try, because I mean, I'm going to probably end up just putting it out on Facebook and seeing if we get some names, because unless, does anybody have any suggestions?
Would Riverside do it, do you think? Their lawn care team?
I think it's too complicated for them. The bank is tricky.
Yeah.
The way they planted the bushes on that bank makes it very difficult to mow.
Yeah.
Behind the mills, we really just need a company to weed whack, because George can only get so close to the wall. So there ends up being like this little strip that gets long. So, I mean, they could maybe do that, but I think we need somebody that knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to try Alex. I've got to reach out to the other guy again, but I was really hoping that Brian Colby could do it for us, because I know him. And so.
How about Pioneer? Isn't it like Pioneer Landscaping or Pioneer something?
Pioneer Landscaping, yeah.
Well, if you will remember when we wanted to hire somebody to do the brush cutting alongside of the trail, and we hired them and they charged a lot of money, and John, do you remember that?
Company? Yeah.
They didn't cut like hardly anything. So we refused to pay them the full amount, because it's a little bad blood there.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah.
Do you remember that, John?
Yeah, and they're very, very expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it may end up that I'm just going to throw it out there on Facebook and see if we get some people who might be interested. But anyway. Yeah.
Good idea.
All right. So June 21st, 6:30.
Okay.
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 All right. And I'll let you know what the prices come in for the paving, but I'll just send it to you. And if you have any comments, but as long as we've maybe we should have a motion to authorize me to, proceed with the paving based on the recommendation of the DPW director. Do we want to have a limit on the money, or?
I make a motion that we do what you just said, and how about a limit of $7,500? Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, we better not go that high. Yeah.
Second.
Do you have enough there, Steve, to?
Yeah, Barb, can you give it to me again?
All right. Move to authorize myself to, let's see, to hire a paver for route repair based on the recommendation of the DPW director.
Okay. For route repair.
Yeah, based on the recommendation of the DPW director with a limit not more than $7,500.
Okay, very good.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand.
All right.
Opposed? Abstaining? Okay. All right. That should cover us.
Yeah, it's not often I get to write an actual motion.
As long as it's close.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're done. Everybody enjoy the nice weather this week.
Yeah, really, huh?
Beautiful.
Summer's here.
Yep. All right. Okay, we'll see you on the 21st.
All right.
Later.
Okay.
Okay.
Send me those pictures, Barb.
Oh,
Or get them off of Facebook.